Every year on December 25th, we celebrate Christmas as if that's the exact day Jesus came into the world. But here's the truth. The Bible never mentions this date. So why do we celebrate it then? And more importantly, when was Jesus actually born? The Bible gives us 7 clues that point to the real timing. 1. The census of Caesar Augustus. Luke tells us that Joseph and Mary went to Bethlehem because of a census. But in Judea, December is cold and rainy, making a census very inefficient. It most likely happened in spring or fall when the weather was much better. Plus, this wasn't a random event. Over 700 years earlier, the prophet Micah predicted the Messiah would be born in Bethlehem. The census helped fulfill that prophecy. God used the empire's movements to carry out his plan. 2. Zechariah, father of John the Baptist. Zechariah served in the temple during the division of Abijah, which happened in May or June. Shortly after, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant. 6 months later, the angel announced to Mary that she would give birth to the Messiah. This points to Jesus' conception in December and his birth 9 months later, between September and October. 3. The Feast of Tabernacles. Sukkot, or the Feast of Tabernacles, happens in September-October and celebrates how God dwelt among his people in the wilderness. John 1:14 says, "The Word became flesh and dwelt among us." In Greek, dwelt can mean tabernacled. What better time for God to dwell among us than during this feast? 4. The shepherds in the fields. Luke tells us that shepherds were in the fields the night Jesus was born. In December, this is unlikely. The cold and rain would have forced them indoors. But in spring, summer, or fall, nights were mild, and shepherds stayed out. This rules out December as a likely date. 5. The Star of Bethlehem. The wise men followed a star in the sky. Some believe it was a planetary conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 7 BC. Others suggest a nova or a supernatural sign. Either way, this points to 6 to 5 BC, matching the timeline. 6. The Massacre of the Innocents. Herod ordered all children under 2 to be killed when he heard of Jesus' birth. Herod died in 4 BC, so Jesus must have been born before that, probably between 6 and 5 BC. 7. The start of Jesus' ministry. Luke 3 says, Jesus was about 30 when he began his ministry in the 15th year of Tiberius Caesar, around AD 28-29, counting back. His birth again falls between 6 and 4 BC, aligning with Herod's death and the other clues. So why December 25th? The Bible never says. In the 4th century, the church chose this date to replace pagan winter solstice festivals like Saturnalia and Sol Invictus. Another idea is that if Jesus was conceived on March 25th, a date linked to his crucifixion, he would be born 9 months later on December 25th. But this is symbolic, not historical. What do we really celebrate at Christmas? It's not just about the date, but about the miracle of the Incarnation, the moment God became man. That incredible event, when the Creator entered human history to offer eternal life, is what matters most. The month doesn't matter. What matters is that he came. Based on 7 biblical and historical clues, Jesus was likely born between September and October, 5 BC, not December 25th. But the most important fact is that he was born,